I'm back from my fourth lesson, really certainly third lesson in a row, and I've been working hard. I know you can see the sweat. I am hot and soaking wet. Worked really hard on that landing, on that set of circuits. There's no wind, so I've gone from strong winds and gusty turbulent weather to no wind. We've been doing flapless and power off practice, and it's been tough. Been actually really hard just because there's so little wind to arrest the plane. So learning new speeds and new heights. Came in first one a bit low, and all the rest not too bad. Still having a little bit of a challenge on the ground, just as the momentum of the plane slows as we're bringing it to either control before taking off again, going around, or bringing it to a stop. It's very easy just to let the momentum of the back spin around, so really got to work hard on my feet and little dancey feet. But yeah, all good. So next time I'll be back out next week, and I'm hoping to solo it. What's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen? How hard can it be? My next flight was absolutely shocking. I went out a few days later, a week later in the Cub. I had a big long weekend, a 50th. I'd been driving all over the place, out lots, and I hadn't recovered. I hadn't slept properly, I wasn't on top of it, and I found flying the Cub almost impossible. So having flown today's brilliant flights, the next lot were absolutely shocking, so bad, Dom said, let's can it, let's get back on the ground. So enjoy the good flying. I won't bother posting the awful flying because they really were terrible. So here's my first approach to the day. There's no wind, there's no turbulence, very different conditions, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling one with the aircraft, a little bit low over the hedge. Could have gone a bit higher, but it's all safe. I put a bit of power on just to keep me going. Nice touchdown, 3-pointer, a little bit of bounce, but that's what the Cub does. And then get control, no rush, full power once the plane's straight, and off we go for the next circuit, the next landing. Very nice indeed. And here we come for another quick touch and go, or stop and go as it's called in the Cub. Nicely lined up on the centre line, then somehow I seem to drift off to the left. Not quite as coordinated as I hoped, probably not quite as relaxed as I needed to. Bit more right rudder, not given. So I come down slightly on my right, then on my left, a bounce, a bonk, and I'm back off into the circuit. Safe, down, but not brilliant. Exercise number 2 is me hands off the controls, and Dom is crabbing the aircraft. He's going to bring it in for a very poorly aligned landing. He hasn't told me what he's going to do, but he's told me I've got to very quickly decide, can I save the landing and use a bit of power to get control and bring it down comfortably, or do I need to go around? And whilst I'm building my confidence and getting better at landing this aircraft, it still feels like a lot to do every time I'm landing. So here we come. Dom's got it off centre line, skewed over, bangs it down on the ground, and I actually start to just bring a bit of power on and try and rescue it. Dom quickly tells me, full power, go around, because in the Cub, there's no point trying to rescue a poorly set up landing. Especially at my level of skill, you might as well just power on, go around and come back in, get it sorted for the next landing, and make a beautiful approach and a beautiful landing. So great lesson for me. If in doubt, power on, go around when you're in the Cub, come back again. Okay, the next exercise, it is a power off landing. The engine's at idle, and I'm coming in to cut the corner off from the circuit so I can get down onto the runway. The problem I have is I am too high. There's no wind slowing me down, so I'm coming in far too high, a little bit too quickly. I'm trying to shed some height, but it's not happening. Really good experience doing this to show how much you've got to be on the ball, on the game, and judging those distances when you have engine failure to get it on the ground safely. I'm going around, and I'm going to have another go now. Attempt number 2 at a power off landing. So the engine is at idle, carb heat is on. I've cut the corner off, but I have given myself a little bit more space, and I'm really watching the picture of the runway out of the cockpit. I'm keeping an eye on my altitude and making sure that I'm not coming down too fast, and I'm going to miss the runway, land short, but that I've got the right glide speed, I've got the right angle, and I'm getting down, and it looks pretty good. This looks like a power on descent, a power on landing. I'm really happy with this. Obviously, if this was happening for real life, I'd be slightly more panicky, slightly more sweaty, but we're coming down nice and neatly. I flare a little bit too soon, and I come down with a bit of a bump, but other than that, safely on the ground, and more importantly for me, safely controlled on the rollout. And here's my last landing. Lots of control correction, gentle movement on the throttle, on the pedals and on the ailerons, and we land 3-pointer. Very nice. A little bit of a bounce, again, as is normal with the Cub, and then I forget to keep working the rudder just as we start to slow down, and off we go to the left, quickly corrected, caught a bit by me, caught a bit by Dom, done.